What's up, y'all? Thanks for coming back. This is an intro from the future, so I'm going to send you back to my past self here in just a little bit, but I wanted to let you know what today's video is about. It's about, well, first off, taking some of the suggestions y'all gave me on my Ollie Journey video and putting some of that to use, as well as some of Norman Wood's suggestions. The upshot is rhythm is everything. Not just timing, rhythm. What's up, y'all? We're back. I'm super stoked on all the awesome feedback I got on my whole Ollie Journey video. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely check the link in the corner. Super YouTubey thing to do, I know, but I'm pretty proud of that video. So if you haven't seen it, you should check that out. Y'all gave me a bunch of support and some really good suggestions, and so I want to apply some of those suggestions today. There was a few that all said similar things, and that was like, I needed to be a little bit more springy with my ollies. Like, instead of like pausing at the bottom, I should just kind of like pop directly out of the bottom of my squat. That's actually something that Norman Woods is saying too, not directly to me in one of his videos. So I'm going to try to apply some of that. Another thing that actually Norman Woods said is that he said you need to pop earlier, and I'm not embarrassed to say that I never actually know what people mean when they say pop. I mean, we tend to associate that with like hitting our tail on the ground, but I feel like it means like more than that. In any case, I'm taking that as like I need to start lifting my feet or just moving my feet sooner than I am. So I'm gonna try that a little bit too. We're gonna continue doing a lot of the same things that we did before, where we're trying to like get the front foot to stay high, get that back foot up, all those things. I feel like we've got those working pretty well, so we're gonna stick with that. So what we're trying to do is like not this. We're trying to be more like, I don't know if you saw the difference there, but we're basically like not spending much time at the bottom. It's kind of obvious now that I'm feeling it in my body because it is much more of an athletic move. Like that pause at the bottom, I feel my whole momentum is slowing down. So like, and like if I'm here and I jump, and that's like not trying super hard, right? That's just like, okay, so like, but if I go, is it that much different? Oh God. It's always a little bit different when we're still because we don't have as much stability. Ooh, okay. What do y'all think pop means? You know what it means, you talk about it, but can we actually define it? And will we agree? We're putting a couple of the new lessons by the wayside for right now, just to get this first part, and then we're gonna reintroduce some of the other things that we've already learned. I like a mental block. It's like, I know my body can do it, but like, I'm kind of like scared. I have like a fear thing going on. That felt pretty good. All right, I'm gonna take it to rolling. I know I'm not getting my back foot up, but this like more kind of, I'm gonna call it athletic way. I know I'm not getting it, but I can feel it. I can feel it in my body. Maybe I'm not one of those eagle olliers where their arms are like super all wide. Maybe I'm one of those like low arm olliers. All right, let's bring it back to static. Okay, that's starting to feel kind of good. Like I'm getting a lightness. Lightness equals float. What? I'm doing that thing again where I keep landing on the back, and I know that when I'm like rolling, I tend to like rotate and then like turn out, and I think that's kind of the same thing that's going on my static ollies. Hey. There were a few people in the comments that were like, you don't jump during an ollie, which I think is utterly ridiculous. However, I understand how one might think that, because you're not necessarily like doing what you might consider like, I don't know. No, it is ridiculous. I'm not going to justify it. You jump during an ollie. Like some people are saying like, just pull your feet up. I challenge you. Stand here and pull your feet up. I'm going to try it right now. I did get my feet off the ground, like 2 centimeters. You gotta unweight your feet. And if you don't want to think about it as jumping, think of it as unweighting your feet so that you can lift your legs up. You don't actually have to jump super high. You just gotta like get a little bit weightless, and then you can lift your feet up. And that, I think, is one of the things I'm feeling right now. Like, okay, again, I'm gonna go into my deep squat. I do get a little bit more float when I get a little more squat, but I think we can put the two together. Come on, back leg. We'll do a couple of rolling and then we'll go to slow-mo. Somebody said Bruce Lee kick. And I love that because Bruce Lee is one of my childhood heroes. That definitely wasn't a Bruce Lee kick. That's a little bit of a Bruce Lee kick, wasn't it? All right, let's do some slow-mo. Dang, y'all. 120 frames per second. We're gonna super overanalyze our ollies now. Okay, athletic, pop, springy, and everything else that we learned in the previous episode. All those things right now. That one felt pretty good. Back foot still needed work, but it's this thing where like, as soon as I start thinking about getting my feet higher, specifically my back leg, I tend to like screw up the stuff that happens before that. Trying to add a piece without losing the other piece. Trying to replace the card in our house of cards with a brick without destroying everything, but we end up destroying everything anyway and having to rebuild it. So we're like maybe 30%, 20% bricks now, 70% cards. We don't have the cone, so I'm just having to like imagine. Rolling. All right, y'all. I don't know if we made progress in the actual ollie, but I do think that we've made progress in the body. And that's one lesson that I definitely took from like over a month of working on my ollies, is that like you got to make it so that your body can feel what to do without you having to think about it. And that requires a bunch of drills, a bunch of really crappy ollies while you're working on a particular technique, and then slowly trying to put it back together. So I think we made a little bit of progress. I'm gonna move over into the shade, check footy, and I'll recap with you real quick. All right, so having checked the footage, it looks like we've kept most of everything that I've learned so far. And now what this kind of more springy, athletic, bouncy way of doing it has done for me is it's given me rhythm. I feel like before, when I was like kind of pausing at the bottom of my squat, I was basically going to 0, and then I had to go from like 0 to 60 like that. I had to like figure out all that rhythm all at once. The little kind of like slight rise and then like dip and then immediately coming back out as quick as I can, that just set the rhythm for the rest of it, and everything else I feel like started to fall together on its own. I do think that all the work that I've done coming up to now, like putting all those pieces together, all that needed to be there before doing this. It's like I've got all the pieces together, and this little kind of bounce before and springing out of the bottom is the catalyst that just really glues everything together and makes it work. Obviously, I still got a bunch of work to do, but I'm pretty stoked on the progress today. And I got to go to work. So I'll see you on the next one.